Okay, welcome everyone back to the Confident Woman interview series. My name is Clarissa Findley. I'm a life designer and I'm your host today. And I'm so excited to have Lily Saunders here with us today. She is a noted author, speaker, co-host, and coach. She was recently awarded one of the 15 top coaching experts in New York City, which is an amazing accomplishment. And her newly released book, Truth to Triumph, is a spiritual guide to finding your truth. So I'm so excited to have you here with us today, Lily. I know
Thank you.
moved, and I appreciate you being a part of this series and sharing your truths with us. So welcome.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. Hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome. Thank you. So Lily, as we start, I would love to hear your own journey and your own story of how you came to where you are now and how you really found that confidence within yourself to create what you've created.
Okay. Yeah. So I've had quite a journey. Probably a bit older than you may. You may think. I don't normally tell people, but when I start to tell people my journey, they realize that I've gone through a couple of decades, over 5. So I've had a journey. I was raised as a dancer, a ballerina, and I did not have the greatest home life. So ballet class was my sanctuary, and dance was everything for me. So I kept my focus on the things that made me happy and that brought me joy, and that also brought other people joy. And it was also a nice creative outlet for me. Fast forward, I always believed that all of these creations are out there, and it's really up to us to choose the creations that we wish to experience. And so that said, I had already seen myself performing and on stage, and this was not so much something that I was moving toward. I literally saw it. So that said, by the time I was 21, 22, 23, I was working. I was on Star Search with Ed McMahon as a contestant, a dance contestant, and I'm definitely dating myself, but that was like the first. I guess I don't know how we would compare it to today, but any of those competition shows that are on, like So You Think You Could Dance or whatever. So You Think You've Got Talent, all that. So this was the big show then. And I went to Hollywood and did that. And then I was just kind of on a roll of auditioning and getting nice gigs. By the way, that is my parrot in the background. It's not your devices, everyone. As soon as I talk, there he is. That's Pippi. But the point is that I did wind up, I traveled as a showgirl, oddly enough, with Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Wow.
The iconic 3-ring circus that just closed last year. I worked the stage in Manhattan, New York, as an actress, a little bit on One Life to Live as a day player, as a nurse. Then my life took an interesting twist. Interesting is putting it mildly. So I wound up getting married, and it was not a marriage made in heaven. Some are made in heaven, some are made in hell. Am I allowed to say that? And I made choices that apparently I needed to grow more in my life. And by the end of 5 years, I was divorced. I had a child. Mm-hmm. And then remarried without thinking. When I say thinking, without looking within, just thinking with the mind, not really looking at the heart and loving myself. And I wound up in an even worse situation. So what happened was I was a battered wife, and I was living behind a veil of silence. And that was not something new for me, because I did not have a great upbringing, and I did have a very volatile, violent father. He wasn't an alcoholic. He just had that in him. In any event, I didn't think that I would really wind up in that situation ever, because my life seemed to be on this great path, you know, as a performer and an actress. So that said, it took me a while to wake up and love myself. And what I did was, in a nutshell, and it's as simple as this, I learned to love myself and take my power back. And it didn't really matter what I had to do to take my power back and have peace in my life and love myself. The only thing that mattered is that I did that, and then everything else would fall into place. Because we can't worry about something that hasn't happened, right? And so that's what I did. And I walked out of that life into many, many changes. It left me, it was a lot of hardship. It left me in an area where I really had to turn the lens in, which if someone had told me that when I was in my 20s, it would have saved me all of this heartache. However, that wasn't the path that was chosen, and I did not have anyone in my path that did tell me things like this, which is why I'm so excited that we're so full of openness and more wisdom today, more so than ever. So every time someone says that this is a tough world, no, it's not. We're getting better and better. And I want everyone to feel really enlightened and feel really positive and feel encouraged that we are growing more and more, becoming more and more of a conscious world. And so all good, all positive. But that said, I wound up stopping, and I wrote a book. I sat for 3.5 years and I wrote a book about called Truth to Triumph. And I wrote that book, and it basically told a lot of my true and never before told stories, which many are raw. But it wasn't really about the stories. It's not really about me. It's really about helping others navigate through all of their life situations without losing their truth. Because when we lose our truth, these are the things that can happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, because I always believe that, you know, like if you can really clearly see in your mind, not just your goals, but your dreams and really the visions and desires for yourself, and you really vibrate with the frequency of having these things, these dreams, then you will really attract everything in your path, everyone that you desire will be yours. Mm-hmm. But if you're not really, truly seeing that, mm-hmm. then you're all over the map. And so that's why I always say, you know, turning that lens inward and looking through the lens of the soul, not the body, not the mind.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for sharing your story. And, you know, I can relate to you so much. That's why I started my business, is because, you know, I got married at 20, right out of high school. I had no idea who I was, and it was just not a good situation and left me really broken. And it was then a process of realizing that I needed to look in, and that I didn't have a clue who I was, and how was I ever going to be able to create a relationship with someone else if I didn't have a clean relationship with myself. And
exactly.
So yeah, we have a similar story. So yeah. How do you, well, and I completely agree that that's where confidence comes from, is by really knowing yourself and really.
No doubt. No doubt. I mean, we all, and once we know ourselves, even if you don't know what you don't know, mm-hmm. at least that awareness that you're looking into reflect and just looking for that self-awareness is is really the first important step. You know, I mean, if we all really, really understand and know and believe that we possess gifts from each one of us, you know, in our soul, that benefit ourselves and benefit others. You know, I actually became a little bit popular, known as the locksmith to the heart.
Oh, wow. I like
And a radio host had named me that. And so I adopted it.
I love
Because,
it.
yeah, because what I do is I help people unlock those barriers that are really blocking us from seeing through the eyes of the heart.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. So how do you help people walk through that process? You know, what is the process of unlocking your heart and letting yourself be seen?
Right. So the first question I typically will ask someone is, who are you? There's usually a long silence.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's not, there's a long list. And the list is usually labels. You know, I'm a student, I'm a mother, I'm a corporate this, or I'm a CEO, and I'm a mom, and I'm a wife, and I'm a husband, I'm a clergyman, whatever. But really, then I have to ask it again, but who are you really? Because we're not our mother, we're not our father, we're not our bank account, we're not our family name. You know, we are the essence of who we are within. You know, the things that we do, they're important, but it's not who we are. Really and truly, it's not. I usually say none of this stuff really matters because it doesn't. And things are changing all of the time. Nothing's forever. Everything is for a while. And, you know, look, once we understand that change is really inevitable, it's really that whole process of how we grow, how we evolve. You know, nothing can grow or evolve without change. Mm-hmm. And then the next step is, once we know who we are, it's almost a self-inquiry of, why am I here? You know,
yeah.
Who am I? Why am I here? You know, most people, they're always searching for their purpose. You can't find your purpose unless you know who you are. And I'd love to say this to people in their 20s. I say this all the time, and it's all over my website as well, as your career is not your purpose. Your career is guided by your purpose. And so I do make a big point as part of my approach as well, as people understanding that even people that are well into their career and they're still kind of stuck, either in their personal life, or maybe there's a little stall in their business or what have you, you know, it usually winds up going to the core of you forgetting or not knowing or forgetting who you are, and using that, you know, to guide you, that purpose within you to guide you through your career, through your family life, through your relationships, and so on and so forth, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. The career is just the vehicle, you know, the purpose is so much deeper than that. And I love what you said. You really can't get there until you have uncovered what actually matters to you and what actually matters to your soul and who you are.
Yes.
What makes you who you are.
Yeah. And, you know, I also want to add, because we're doing just this organically, which I love. There's nothing like, you know, speaking with people organically, is that when we go through a lot of who am I's throughout the course of our life. And what I mean by that, and what I'd like all of the viewers to really know, is that who you are at 3 years old, and who you are at 15, and who you are at 21, and who you are at 25 is different, because we're changing. So it's not like I know who I am. I know, well, that's changing all of the time. You know, certainly who I was at 3 is not who I am today. Yeah. Also, your dreams change.
Mm-hmm.
Also, your visions change. And that's okay. And one of my major, major messages to everyone that I work with and everyone that I speak to is whatever that is today, whoever you are today, just love it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that because you're so right. You know, we're always changing. And I think that's where a lot of us get stuck, or get discouraged because it's like, we just don't know if we're going the right way or if who we thought we were is who we are today. Like we're always changing. And I think I love what you just said of it being okay. Like,
Yeah.
okay. If
It's really fine. It's really fine. I always say 2 words, and I say this in my book, Truth to Triumph. So what? I mean, who cares? It's okay. Just love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the answer to everything. When we really, really are truly successful is when we continuously love ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That the only thing we should be striving for in life is love.
Mm-hmm.
In every capacity in this world, in this earthly world, every capacity spiritually. It's the only thing we should really, really be striving for. Everything else falls into place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
Well, Lily, have loved what you've shared, and thank you so
Thank you.
much for being here. I know you have a free gift for our viewers. Would you
I
like
do. Yes, I do a free gift. So it's called Soul Bread.
to?
And what it is daily affirmations that feed the soul. So I called it Soul Bread. And so if you go on my website, lilysanders.live, so it's LILYSANDERS.LIVE, or live. You go right when you go onto the front page of the site, you will see all you have to do is just subscribe in there for Lily's e-notes and quotes. It's free, and you will get a downloadable affirmation book. And I selected 12 affirmations that I feel are really, really key for all of us to do every day, to do maybe one each day, and then the next, go on and on and on, and just take your time with it. If you're stuck on one affirmation for a couple of days, that's fine. But I'd love everyone to definitely have soul bread daily affirmations that feed the soul.
That sounds amazing. I'll make sure to post the link below here so everyone can grab that. That sounds so, so great.
Great.
Well, Lily, as we wrap up, are there any last thoughts that you'd like to share?
Yes, I would, because, everyone that's listening, that you're in your 20s and, you're kind of looking for that confidence. I would really like to share this. Turn your attention in and really trust that your attention is the translator of your body. And when we turn our attention in, our wisdom becomes remarkable. And from that point, how we choose to experience every situation and every circumstance in life becomes qualia.
Qualia?
Qualia, yeah. It's a form of a very, it's a way of really finding that organic quality in every single moment. It's going beneath the layers of everything materialistic, everything you can see and touch and feel, and that attention and those things that we feel really inward will really, really make sense and really bring high quality to every situation and peace. We need to come out of every situation in peace.
I love
So,
that.
yeah, it almost walks hand in hand with love. And if we don't, we've got to have peace.
I love it. I Love that. Well, Lily, thank you so much for what you've shared. I know we could continue, we can keep going and going and going, but we'll have to do this again. And I've just loved having you with us. So thank you everyone for watching, and we'll be back again tomorrow with more. Bye for
My
now.
pleasure. Bye-bye.